just by definition, if you call it art, it's good, you know. Just think about that. I got to think about that. I got to think more before I talk about that, because one of my students was talking to me about that the other day, you know. I started thinking about it. There's a whole lot of right in that or somehow or something, you know. Like, if you define it as art, it's all good. It can't be bad art. Now think about it, you know. I mean, I like it. It has nothing to do with it being good or bad art. See, every time you get comfortable, you know, and then you have something figured out, something comes and blows you away. That's what I liked about farming. See, I farmed, you know. And when I first came, I had a 180-acre, 140-acre farm. It seemed like 180, you know. I raised corn, oats, alfalfa, and quarter horses, you know. I did a little rodeo at the time, you know. I liked that. That was a nice physical thing. I liked the people, you know. They're just rotten people. I really like them. We had a lot of time, good time. Just horse people are the most honest liars in the world, you know? Like, if you don't know the horse is blind, you shouldn't be buying horses, you know? It's definitely your problem, you know? Even if we're the best of friends. And I like that. That's really, you know, right, yeah, I know what you're doing, see? And I had like 23 horses one time, you know, just, you go to a horse auction, you get drunk, you come home with another horse, you know? Oh, that's terrible. But how do I start talking about that? I don't know. Farm. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Farm. Well, he certainly knows about that. Now, I'm at the, this is going to be a little bit heavier than what I want to deal with, I think. I don't know. Let's see if I can do this or not. It should work. It says right there in Rhodes' book. Something has to happen. See, we know that. If we go on that assumption, that something has to happen, you know. And I go on that assumption a lot, you know, like in my life, you know. Like everybody's got to be someplace, and everything will do something. See, it's a lot better, isn't it? Just think about that, you know. Like, boy, if you think about that, like, everybody's got to be someplace. Sometimes, boy, they'll give you about 3 seconds, you know, and it saves your life, you know. The guy opens the closet, says, "What are you doing here?" Everybody's got to be someplace. You know. A lot of times, right? You don't need much lead sometimes to get. Care for that one. See, now I have to get. Can you see what's happening here? You see? Now I got to get this out of here. These ring around the roses, you know. Jasper Johns did the targets. We don't need to do them again. Got to get them out of here. Good. So now we'll play with this a little bit in here, okay? I don't know. I might have to come back in. I may have to come back in when it dries a little more because it just keeps making ribbings, but it will be all right. We'll just go back here and just, I think I want to touch this up just a bit. I don't want to get this, see, as I'm looking here, I don't want to get this too thin because then it will be kind of really pretentious, you know. So I'm going to put more pressure. How can I do that, though? Can you do that? Let me, wait a minute. I'll tell you in a minute what I'm doing. Down some more, see? Right in there. Okay? Okay. Paula, my wife now, Paula Reitz, now, she's a sculptor and clay person and things, and she's a great gal, you know. But, we've been married a couple of years now, see? She's a hard time living on the edge, you know. She doesn't quite understand that yet. It's really about the only place to be, isn't it? You know, right there on the old end. You know. Go either way. See? Okay, now we got something we can operate with later on. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay, all right. That's really too much air. God damn it. Oh, no, don't move the bed. No, we need the air. Oh, yeah, hot on air. Right, we need the air, right? Okay, there's a lot of hot air in here. Okay. Do you mind if we do one more so that,
Go right ahead.
listen, if you want to take a break, you know, please feel free. I mean, you're sitting there, and that's just a bitch. I mean, I know it. I'm having all the fun here. Getting better, huh? See that? You like that? One thing I will do that I didn't do, I wondered where I got that thing. These little holes are okay, but when you drill your bats all the way through, I usually cover those holes up with clay, because when I'm pulling this out, that gives me the air pocket in it. And a lot of times when I pull things out to the edge, it lifts the whole thing off. That's interesting. Okay, all right. Very pretty classy bats, aren't they? Huh? Heavy duty stuff. I'll tell you. Good tonight there. We'll let it go. Let's get some more clay here. Bring my clay to the workshop. Great. I might go ask again so I can't see either, It's just terrible. My body just goes to hell, man. All right, keep it going. I just can't see. I buy these glasses. I don't pay over $10 for glasses. $9, $10, that's as much. No more. I go down to Christie's. You got them here at Woolworths, $5 a dime, I get down there, you get all these glasses. You just get a card. Keep putting them on to you where you can read them, I got these little, looks like I'm aging Ben Franklin. I get these little glasses on here, see? And I lose them all the time. I just lose them all the time. I sit on them, stuff like that. So I just don't pay any more than that.
Settling down with something. It's like,
Yeah, that should be able to feel it. Did you ever change that field line? Yeah, if you want to.
That's how you tell Charlie, He's an Indian. I stay with. I was a scout, I've always been a scout, I'm an Eagle Scout, 2 palms, We did things at that time with scouting, I don't think we marched made parades. I don't remember. I think we used to send a float down the river, the Delaware. Memorial Day. Or Labor Day. When do you send floats? Memorial Day, I guess, not Labor Day. So I grew up in that kind of atmosphere, Camping in small town, Delaware, New Jersey. Down by the Delaware Gap, the Peters Valley, you know where that is? That's born. I'm not born, small town, about 1,600 people, something like that. And I was raised in dealing with the natural, environment. You know what I mean? They always had gardens and so forth. That kind of time period, Get up and dust for those potato bugs, all that stuff. And I guess I get off on the columns of natural environment, That is, I like that. More exciting than man-made environment, More exciting than architectural structures, which stay with you for a little while, but, to just sit out in the middle of the field, and sit down and look at all, and just wait about 5 or 10 minutes and just keep watching. And there's this whole life structure that's going on under you, Unbelievable, just fantastic. And you go take from that to watching glaciers fall off, and like lightning hitting trees, Doesn't seem like you're doing a hell of a lot making dishes, does it? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I think about that. So anyhow, we got to, I worked at a meat market, see, ever since I could look over a meat block, even before I could look over a meat block, basically, I remember I was too little to used to scrape the blocks, and I'd have to walk around to the other side to get to the middle of it, you know what I mean? And I was always too young to go to school, it seems. I was always not ready for school, So anyway, school was a place I came to rest, to get ready for the real world. It was like you know. It was like when I'd get up, here's what about, let's take like a 7th grade time period, probably, an 8th grade, something like that, you know. I'd get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I'd run. I had about a 2-mile, or a 3-mile, I guess, trap line on Delaware River's trap, just make my money doing that, see. And then I'd go to school, you know. If I didn't get hit with a skunk, I'd go to school, you know. And from my trap line, I would come down to the meat market, and I'd set up the meat cage, you know, the cold cuts. I washed the hot dogs, a little sticky, you know, a little bacon, so the chicken's getting a little white, you know, all that kind of stuff. We used to put saltpeter in the meat at that time to make it red, you know. Oh, yes, so I'd set up the meat case, then I'd go to school, see? Well, by the time I got to school, you know, I had half a day's working, you know, and the teachers were just kind of waking up, you know, not really ready for me, you know. And that's when I learned how to have sort of out-of-body experiences, you know. I could just leave, and I wouldn't have to stay there. I had to stay there physically, or else I'd get played for hooky. So I figured out, well, I could just leave vicariously. Go, and I learned how to fantasize, you know. And I would do all these wonderful things, depending a lot upon which movie I saw that Saturday, you know. A lot of times, that's when I wanted to be a diver, you know. I see John Wayne in the Wake of the Red Witch, you know. And I was heavy in the hard head diving then, you know. Man, I just sit there, man, I just dreams, you know. They used to call me Mile Away. My nickname was Mile Away in school. See? And so they'd get me out of a English class, you know, to line the football field, see, you know, and I'd get out of the math class to paint scenery, you know, and I thought they was doing me a big favor, and actually just trying to, you know, get me out of here, you know. I never failed anything. I never passed anything too awful great either, you know. I think I did pretty good for the mental state I was in usually when I was in school, see. Then after school was over, I'd go down to the meat market and finish work until 6 o'clock. You know, in the meat market, see? Because if we wanted any spending money, I had to earn it. It was none at home, you know? So that's kind of the way I got through school that way. Well, scouting helped me a great deal because I had a great, what would it be, like a mentor, would that be the right name? Homer Hicks. Just kind of took me under his wing, you know? And he was a scout person, and we'd go up and he'd pick me up at Saturday night. Saturday night meat market was the big times when all the farmers came in and you'd get out there around 11 o'clock at night, you know. If you washed everything, the inside of the case, the inside of the showcase, everything was clean, you know. Then I think, so I suppose it still is, you know. So anyhow, Homer would come pick me up and we'd go up to the Quara up by Peters Valley there and we'd camp overnight, fish next day and so forth, come back then, and then I'd go to school, see, like that. So as I got older, I started getting involved in the Scouts more and more and started doing running things a little bit. So Homer and I went up to Canada and bought a lake for $1 from the lumber company, see, up above Montreal, up the Wampus River.